I would like to start with you closing your eyes because it's fun for me. I get to relax and you get to do something creative. There's 3 rules for this exercise. So first one is no judgment. So this room is judgment free. Think about some sort of idea, whether small, something that you always wanted to do as a kid, or maybe something that will happen in the future. So whether it's that's tomorrow, in a week, in a month, in 20 years, just close your eyes, relax, give yourself time. If we try to do things in a bit different way sometimes, let's say maybe I'll talk to this person instead of that person, maybe that person will help me.
Just give it a go, give it a chance, whatever's in your head, and I hope I kind of just gave you that little spark that there's things that can happen.
Welcome. How are we? This is Natalia from Natalka Design. I'm in my red attire today and there's a reason for that. So today I would love to speak about TEDx talks specifically and my tips after speaking 6 times internationally at TEDx stages. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with TEDx talks, but TED conferences have been running since 1984. It's an American media company, and they basically have been creating free to the public talks, inspirational, business, life, you name it, spread it to all of the world, and basically under a slogan, ideas worth spreading. If you're not familiar with it, type in TED Talks in YouTube or go to podcast or whatever, or their website, and you see millions and millions by now of talks that have literally shifted people's minds and people trying to get knowledge, inspiration, all of it on one stage from really impressive speakers around the world. Now, TEDx is an independent part of TED Talks, and I also have been a TEDx organizer. What I've learned from speaking internationally at 6 times on TEDx international stages. Let's do this.
Think of it as this whole ripple effect, and what you do really means a lot. And don't think about big things necessarily. You don't have to think about starting a new business or a big project. When I listen more, when I ask questions more, when I get a bit more curious, when I look a bit more into people's eyes, I get out more.
Maybe you're thinking to speak on a TEDx stage or TED stage, maybe you're new to it, or you got inspired, or you just want to know and get some good wisdom. Here we go, let's start. Number 1 thing that I've learned from speaking 6 times in all these places at TEDx stage is share what you know. Sometimes when I was invited and there was a topic given to me, I would get a bit shy, I would get a bit nervous in terms of like, what should I speak about? What's my thing? What's my theme? To be fair with you, at the end of the day, all you need to do is think about what you know and share the stories that you know about, because everyone knows that if you start talking about things that you have no clue about, you get nervous, you start sweating, and most probably you forget what are you talking about. So the moment that you actually speak about things that you care about, you know about, and you're very confident about, and you're passionate about, it will be all okay.
Then I would say take on the challenge. Yes, I know it sounds a bit like, for some people, yeah, easy to say, but see, I did the same thing, and I didn't trust in anything that I was doing, and it happened. So whatever scares you, just do it.
Be yourself. Now this one runs around the world and everyone's saying that, but it's so true. I will say though, every time I spoke at the stage, I would get a bit nervous. I would lose a bit my voice, and I would get a bit more breathy, and I would kind of be a bit more like, but I always made sure that I am myself, and that means that I will never be perfect. I was speaking about the things that I know to the best of my knowledge with the best energy that I have. And that's all I could really do, and hope that the audience will take it, will love it, and will understand it, and will share it and get value from. But I always made sure that I'm myself, which would mean if I am a bit all over the place, I will. If I'm a bit too animated, I will. If I am speaking a bit too loud or too much or whatever, I will. And I will keep to who I am, because if I will try to be someone else or try to be perfect, whatever that means, it will just not work out.
So this is kind of what you have to do with your idea. Unfold it, literally step by step, right? And when you do that, you might enjoy a good taste, you might get nourished, it's sweet, it's nice, it will keep you energetic.
Every audience is different. That's a very interesting one. Depending where I went to, I found myself working with a different audience, and that could mean the audience in France was a bit more quiet. For example, that was their second language, of course, English, so some things I found that they weren't taken the same way as if I spoke in an English-speaking country. And then again, some audience would be a bit louder and asking more questions, or let's say younger audience is a bit more shy and they don't really ask questions. Older audience asks more questions and stuff like that. So be ready for any audience. It's okay if it's a bit more quiet. It's okay if it's very loud. You will figure it out. But just be okay with whatever you're given, depending on the culture, the place you're in. Be ready. Get yourself out there and give the talk, and you will see as you go what's the interaction, what's going on. By the way, no one is asking questions at TEDx talks at the end, so you're good.
When you're really passionate about something, whatever that is, you are interested in pedigrees of dogs, you like to cook, you like to, I don't know, volunteer, you like to travel, whatever that is, not even in work, get really good at it.
Super basic, but breathe. And I learned that the hard way. As I mentioned before, when I started especially, I was nervous, I was new to it, I felt so much pressure. It was such a big deal, of course, for me, and I didn't want to let anyone down. And all these thoughts would come up in my head, which would mean that I will stop breathing basically and just get myself super nervous and super anxious, and that turned out not really well for me, because I would really feel when I speak, I would be like, I can't get another breath. So breathe, slow down. It's okay. If that means that you can say less than you wanted to, that's actually even better, because ain't nobody is going to capture all this information. Breathe. Even practice when you speak, breathing and stopping and slowing down. It's so important that when you find yourself losing that breath, you take one and you continue.
I would say follow your passion and really do what you like to do. Maybe there's things that you still just hide under your, cupboards and not sure if you should show it to the people. Show it to them, because everyone is interested in everything. You never know what's gonna be interested to people.
Prepare yourself. I know it's an obvious one, but I have to say, I know people who haven't, and I know that they really struggled. So there's something about being natural and being able to speak. I'm being natural to you right now, but I also prepared myself. I prepared my thoughts, I prepared my points, I know what I'm talking about. If you just go in there and hope for the best, it might happen for you. Maybe you're just this amazing natural that didn't have to do anything. But more often than not, the more you prepare, the more you're ready. And that can mean whatever it can for you. Maybe you need slides, maybe you want a video, maybe you don't want anything. Maybe you want some notes that you just write to yourself before. Maybe that means you need to actually do it 10 times a day to get it right. Whatever that means for you, prepare yourself.
If you ever have this kind of little feeling of like, okay, I don't know, but maybe I'll try, or I'm not good at it, but okay, just please do it. Please, because you feel so much more refreshed after. You learn something new, even if it didn't work out.
Sharing is caring. It's so nice and so fulfilling to share the stuff that you know. It's great that you have all this knowledge and skills and everything, but it's just belongs to you. The moment you kind of share and extract from yourself, it becomes more meaningful. You're sharing something that other people can be influenced by, inspired by, motivated by, think about, maybe not agree with, maybe agree with. It doesn't matter. You're creating in their mind some sort of attention and some sort of response, and you're letting them go through it and digest it, and that can do a lot of things for them. So it always really inspired me at the end of the day that I hoped at least one person got influenced by it, motivated by it, inspired, happier, maybe challenged, whatever that is. So naturally, when I started, I was a bit nervous, but when I saw the kind of impact that it did, even after a few months, I would get an email from someone, oh, you really helped me when I listened to your talk because XYZ. That is very fulfilling feeling. So sharing is caring. Do share what you know.
Test things out, even if you think that your idea is stupid, or you think like, oh, no one will like it, or I'm not really sure. Should I do it? Should I not? Maybe it will just kind of be not the thing for me. Just do it.
Keep it simple. This is the one that I will keep simple. Just keep it simple. Don't overdo it. Ain't nobody has time for too many details, too much stuff. Keep it simple. What's your message? What's the core of your story? Go. So hopefully this was helpful. These are the things that I've learned from 6 times speaking on international stages at TEDx. So many other stories that I can share with you guys in terms of getting more into how I got to speak at TEDx, where did I go to speak, who did I speak to about what. If you want to hear more, let me know in the comments below, DM me, all that good stuff. This was just the lessons that I got from it. If you're able to, if you're invited to speak at the TEDx stage, I am so happy for you. Go for it. Send me your video. Would love to see. It's just amazing to see all these people sharing their stories and sharing their knowledge. And I hope this was helpful for whatever speaking gig you have in front of you, whether that's online or in person. And hopefully I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.
If I can leave you with anything, I think of it as this whole ripple effect, and what you do really means a lot. And don't think about big things necessarily. You don't have to think about starting a new business or a big project. As you can see, this clearly happened out of nowhere, but little things are so important, guys. Like little things, like smile at people,